Chapter 21. You are so cruel, I like it very much. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing Dongfang Yuan's analysis, Su Bai couldn't help but sigh. Everyone in the world thinks that you, Dongfang Yuan, are a waste and the worst monarch in the Tianyan Dynasty. I didn't expect that the entire northern territory would be manipulated by you. To have such a mind at such a young age, you are really a monster. Su Bai's eyes shrank slightly, realizing the evildoer Dongfang Yuan and his forbearance. Su Bai, the killer, deeply admired him in his heart. The world laughs at me for being crazy, but I laugh at others because they can't see through it. Tell me, who are you? Dongfang Yuan said indifferently. Su Bai. Upon hearing this name, Dongfang Yuan's expression did not change. It turns out to be you, the second-ranked gold medal killer in the Blood Shadow studio. You came to kill me tonight on the order of your landlord, right? Su Bai did not deny it. Yes, I just want to take your head and take it back to life. But it's a pity that I risked my life in it. Su Bai was completely desperate in his heart, so he did not intend to beg for mercy anymore. After joining the Blood Shadow studio, he also lived alone and had his own dignity, therefore, even if he has to die now, he must die with dignity. Interesting. In this case, do you want to survive? Dongfang Yuan smiled subtly and asked. Xiao Qingli sat next to Dongfang Yuan, and she guessed what Dongfang Yuan wanted to do. When Su Bai heard this, he immediately raised his head and looked at him. You won't kill me. Life is earned by oneself. Whether you can survive or not depends on yourself, Dongfang Yuan said directly. Hearing that Dongfang Yuan was not so kind and obviously had conditions, he also asked, what do you want me to do? It's very simple. From now on, you can live as my emperor, Dongfang Yuan said. You want me to betray the Blood Shadow Studio? Do you want to know the location of the Blood Shadow Studio's headquarters from my mouth? Su Bai thought seriously for a while and felt that this was the most valuable condition in him for Dongfang Yuan. However, Dongfang Yuan shook his head. I really need to know the location of the Blood Shadow Tower, because I will destroy the Blood Shadow Tower. But, actually, it doesn't matter to me whether you want to tell me or not. Because I can directly search your soul, and in this way I can also know the location of the Blood Shadow Tower headquarters. Furthermore, I know that each of you Blood Shadow Studio killers has restrictions in their minds. Once someone tries to search for your soul, it will explode. But do you think that if a person at the peak of the heavenly realm takes action, what kind of waves can this small restriction cause? After listening to what Dongfang Yuan said, Su Bai also thought clearly about the stakes. Indeed, if Fei Peng takes action, everything in his soul will definitely be known. Then why do you want me to surrender to you? Su Bai finally asked. Killing people also kills the heart. Okay, it's time for you to make a choice. Enough nonsense. I don't have that much patience. Dongfang Yuan said impatiently. Su Bai heard this, thought about it again and again, and made a decision. Okay. I am willing to surrender to your majesty. Dongfang Yuan smiled faintly. Su Bai's choice was within his expectation. Now that the Tianyan Dynasty's foundational strength is before his eyes, comparing it with the Blood Shadow Tower, even a fool would know which one to choose. It is good. Since you are willing to surrender to me, then eat this. Dongfang Yuan waved his hand, and a black pill appeared in front of Su Bai. Su Bai took it, knowing very well in his heart that Dongfang Yuan was testing himself. This pill is like a controller. After Su Bai takes it, he will be controlled by him. But Su Bai just thought about it for a few seconds and then ate it directly. Ha 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 ha. Okay, get up. Dongfang Yuan waved his hand, and a burst of power shot into Su Bai's knee, causing his knee bones to recover immediately. Su Bai looked a little surprised. He didn't expect Dongfang Yuan's power to be so powerful. His injuries recovered in an instant, and he was probably no better than the flying canopy. Thank you, Your Majesty. Su Bai stood up and took off the black cloth from his face. After seeing his face clearly, he found that he was an old man. Judging from his age, he looks like an old man in his 60s, and his gray hair on his temples is also a bit gray. Su Bai, regarding your failed attack tonight, I will let you know that you were wounded and escaped. And what you have to do is return to Guanzhiyun and wait for my instructions. Dongfang Yuan stated his purpose and ordered him. Su Bai understood his intention and immediately responded with clasped fists, Your Majesty, I understand. Wait a moment. I have something to tell you. At this time, Xiao Qingli, who was next to Dongfang Yuan, suddenly spoke to Su Bai. Su Bai looked at Xiao Qingli, wondering who she was, and said doubtfully, Your Majesty, this is Xiao Qingli, the third princess of the Dream Dynasty. She is also the future queen of my Tianyan Dynasty. Dongfang Yuan introduced without hesitation. After Su Bai learned Xiao Qingli's identity, he was a little horrified. You know, Dongfang Yuan is Xiao Qingli's father-killing enemy. But now she wants to become the queen of Tianyan Dynasty. I have to say, your circle is really chaotic. It turns out to be the third princess. I wonder if there is anything the princess needs Su Bai to do. Please feel free to give her instructions. Su Bai asked respectfully. After you go back to the Blood Shadow Tower, find an opportunity to destroy Guanxingyu and cut off his inheritance items for me. I will make him suffer to death, Xiao Qingli said with a cold face. Hearing this, Su Bai and Dongfang Yuan were both shocked. Guanxingyu caught Xiao Qingli's attention, and both of them knew this. It's just that they didn't expect Xiao Qingli to be so cruel. Good guy, this is to make Guanxingyu cut off his descendants. TSK, concubine, you are so cruel. However, I like it. Su Bai, did you hear that? You know what to do, right? Dongfang Yuan hugged Xiao Qingli and said to Su Bai with a smile. Xiao Qingli crossed her arms and rolled her eyes at him. Su Bai was trembling in his heart. These two were both ruthless people, and one was more evil than the other. Yes. Su Bai understands. Princess, do you need me to cut off Guanxingyu's lifeblood and bring it to the princess? Su Bai asked a lot. Xiao Qingli's face turned dark immediately. What do you want with that filthy thing, princess? Are you out of your mind? Yes. It's Su Bai who talks too much. Princess, please forgive me. Su Bai wanted to give himself a big blow in his heart. Why would he talk so much? Okay, go ahead. Dongfang Yuan smiled and didn't care. Yes. Su Bai left the hall immediately. Chapter 22 The Qian Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fuck. Look. Why are there 3 more heads hanging on the city wall? Oh my god. Those are the Deputy Hall Master of Xiaoyu Palace, and the First Elder and Second Elder of Fenchen Island. Why are their heads also hung on the city wall? You don't know yet. I heard that last night, these 3 people attacked Tianyan Palace at night, and were killed by 2 Tianzun realm powerhouses in Tianyan Palace. It is said that there is another killer Su Bai from the Blood Shadow Studio, but his assassination failed and he escaped with injuries. What? The Tianyan Dynasty really has the Tianzun realm? There are actually 2 more. Be a good boy, my dear, they are hiding something secretly. Early the next morning, the heads of Lei Tianxiong and others were hung on the wall of Tianyan Imperial City, which aroused many people's discussions. The news about what happened last night and the fact that there were 2 Tianzun realm members in the Tianyan Dynasty also spread out, immediately causing quite a stir in the Northern Territory. At the same time, Blood Shadow Studio headquarters, Su Bai was injured and escaped back. In an attic, he reported the situation last night to Guanzhiyun and Nanmenyu. You mean, Tai Poyan and Shi Baitian broke through to the Tianzun realm and injured you? Guanzhiyun and Nanmenyu were particularly shocked when they heard the news. After all, a few months ago, Tai Poyan and the 2 had appeared, and their cultivation was only at the late stage of Dharma realm. How could he suddenly become the Heavenly Lord realm? It's absolutely true, Master. The injuries on my body were caused by the 2 of them working together. Furthermore, Dongfang Yuan is not simple either. He hides very deeply. In fact, his strength is not weak. He just hides it from the people in the Northern Territory with his stupid face. Su Bai reported the report seriously. His face turned a little pale, obviously due to physical injuries. This was also directed and acted by him. After all, he was injured, so what he said was more credible. What? Dongfang Yuan, do you know what kind of cultivation he has? Nan Minyu looked thoughtful, his face became a little solemn, and he asked. Do not know. I was stopped by Tai Poyan before I came into contact with him, Su Bai replied. At this time, Su Bai inadvertently glanced at Guan Xingyu who was sitting next to the chair. Guan Xingyu had obviously just finished enjoying it, and there was still a strong smell of rouge on his body. Su Bai swallowed his saliva, and then his eyes immediately turned to the front. According to Xiao Qingli's instructions, he had to cut off Guan Xingyu's lifeline in the next few days. You still have to think about it carefully and find a suitable time. Poor Guan Xingyu has no idea at this moment that the goddess weapon he is so proud of will soon say goodbye to him. Okay. You go down first and find a secret room to heal your wounds. Guan Zhiyun thought for a while and let Su Bai go down first. Yes. Su Bai also immediately turned around and left. This Tianyan Dynasty is really a bit evil. Tai Poyan and Shi Baitian have broken through to the heavenly realm. What about Xuanhuan? Isn't this guy also able to break through to the heavenly realm? Guan Zhiyun guessed, feeling something bad. From what I see, it's very possible. We assume that they have 3 Tianzun realms. In this case, things will be a bit troublesome, Nan Minyu said with a serious face. Oops. Dad, Uncle Yu, why are you so worried? So what if there are 3 Tianzun-level people in the Tianyan Dynasty? Compared with the background, our Blood Shadow studio can hold them back for a few blocks. Besides, the headquarters of our Blood Shadow studio is extremely secretive. Usually others are worried about us, so why should we be afraid of others' revenge? Looking at the Northern Territory, even those Overlord-level forces have a hard time finding our headquarters. Just relying on the Tianyan Dynasty, you are worrying too much. Guan Xingyu said as he pleased, with a very contemptuous tone. It was obvious that he didn't take Tianyan Dynasty seriously. Guan Zhiyun listened to his son's words. Although he was a little arrogant, it was not unreasonable. At this time, a Dharma realm killer from the Blood Shadow Tower suddenly walked in. Master, this is the letter that Xiaoyu Palace and Fenchen Island went to dark at a place. Guan Zhiyun took the letter and read the general content, and then said, these 2 families seem to be determined this time. The letter said that their 2 families want to join forces with our Blood Shadow studio. Their 2 major forces plan to come out in full force to attack the Tianyan Dynasty and turn passivity into initiative. And let our Blood Shadow studio send some gold medal killers to assist them and attack Tianyan together. After Nan Minyu heard these words, his face started to think, and after a while he said, Zhang Bai and Lei Tianxiong were all killed. This already shows that Tianyan Dynasty has Tianzun level in charge. And under the current situation, these 2 forces still dare to choose to go to war with the Tianyan Dynasty. From this look, do they have reinforcements? At this time, the gold medal killer on the side said, by the way, sir, there is one more thing. Half a day ago, Shen Ningfa, the great elder of Xian Qingshan, went to Xiaoyu Palace. As for what they talked about, it is unknown. Shen Ningfa. Hearing this name, Nan Minyu and Guan Zhiyun felt a little surprised. Xian Qingshan is also a top force in the Northern Territory. They have 2 Tianzun realm powerhouses in charge, and their overall strength is ranked among all the top forces in the Northern Territory. It can be said that they are only under the Blood Shadow Tower. It's just that Xian Qingshan has rarely been involved in the grievances between the Northern Territory forces. How could it go to Xiaoyu Palace at this juncture? At this time, Guan Zhiyun received another message, which was from the spies of the Blood Shadow Tower. Xianfeng Mountain has summoned the strong men in the mountain, and there are strong men who have appeared near the Qian family. They are likely to deal with the Qian family. This is what the spies passed on. Seeing this, Guan Zhiyun couldn't help but frown, and became even more confused. The Qian family is also one of the top forces in the Northern Territory. It is rumored that the eldest lady of the Qian family is a woman with poor cultivation talent but very beautiful appearance. Some people even say that it is just a vase, a flower that grows indoors and is of no use, but the older generation of the Qian family is quite powerful. The strength is comparable to Xian Qingshan. even if the younger generation is not as good as Qian Qingshan. The Qian family has a deep foundation, which is not something Qian Qingshan can easily handle, and how come? This person from Qian Qingshan went to Jiuyou Palace and was ready to deal with the Qian family. What the hell is this? Speaking of Qian Qingshan and the Qian family, I remembered an ancient rumor, Nanmenyu said suddenly. What rumor? Guan Zhiyun and Guan Xingyu also looked over. Chapter 23 Treasure. Qian Xinrou. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are rumors that 5,000 years ago, Qian Qingshan and the ancestors of the Qian family explored an ancient ruins, and within that ruins, there were a number of precious and rare treasures. At that time, because their two ancestors were unable to take away the treasures, they hid the entrance to the ruins. And if you want to open that ruins, you need to have 2 sun and moon keys first. It is rumored that the ancestors of the Qian family and Qian Qingshan each took a key so that the descendants of the two groups could unite as one and go to the ruins together to obtain the treasures in the future. But now, the relationship between the Qian family and Qian Qingshan has become vaguely not so good. My guess is that one of their families wants to monopolize the treasure, which is why the relationship between the two families fell into a freezing point. Nanmenyu also told what he knew and guessed. After Guan Zhiyun and Guan Xingyu heard this, they couldn't help but feel a little moved in their hearts. What kind of treasure is it that can completely turn the two forces against each other? How precious is this? That's up to you. Could Qian Qingshan be looking for Jiuyou Palace to deal with the Qian family? Guan Zhiyun asked doubtfully. Very likely. And, I guess they may be swapping interests. Jiuyou Palace and Fenchen Island help Qian Qingshan destroy the Qian family first, and Qian Qingshan can also successfully obtain the key. After that, Qian Qingshan is helping them to deal with the Tianyan Dynasty together. In this way, with Qian Qingshan joining, it makes sense that Jiang Baixing and the others dare to invade the Tianyan Dynasty in a large scale. Nanmenyu guessed sharply roared. Dad, if this happens, our Shuiying studio can't sit still and wait for death. The treasure hidden by Qian Qingshan and the Qian family is definitely worth a lot of money. If our Blood Shadow studio can get it, then. Guan Xingyu's eyes showed an unabashed greed. The same goes for Guan Zhiyun. They say like father, like son. Guan Zhiyun's greed for the treasure is no less than Guan Xingyu's. In that case, then agree to Jiang Baixing. You can arrange it and let 10 gold medal killers come to help. In addition, I sent a message to dead Centipede and asked him to go out personally. Guan Zhiyun ordered to Nanmenyu. Yes, the host. Nanmenyu agreed and immediately made arrangements. Inside the Evil Moon Palace, Jiang Baixing and Yuan Tianzun were sitting in the main hall. Now that Qian Qingshan has joined us, and the Blood Shadow House has sent 10 gold medal killers to help us, the Tianyan Dynasty will undoubtedly be destroyed. But before that, we still have to go to Qian's house first, Jiang Baixing said calmly. However, although the current situation is favorable, the two of them are not in a good mood. After all, Zhang Bai and Lei Tianxiong were their arms, and they died in the Tianyan Dynasty. For this hatred, they must make Tianyan Dynasty pay the price. I just don't know why Qian Qingshan wants to destroy the Qian family. I have never heard of any grudges between the two forces. It's so weird, Yuan Tianzong asked with some confusion. Obviously, from the conversation between the two of them, it was clear that they did not know about the grudge between the Qian family and Qian Qingshan, nor about the treasures. Naturally, it was impossible for the people of Qian Qingshan to leak such an important matter to them. Who cares? Anyway, it's just a cooperative relationship. We help them destroy the Qian family, and they help us destroy the Tianyan Dynasty. No one owes anyone else. Jiang Baixing said disapprovingly. He doesn't care what is going on between the Qian family and Qian Qingshan. He only has one thought now, and that is to kill Dongfang Yuan and the others. Hall Master, the people have been assembled. At this time, an elder from Jiuyou Palace came in and said. It is good. In that case, get on the ship and set off. Jiang Baixing immediately ordered. Afterwards, people from Jiuyou Palace and Fenchen Island boarded each other's flying ships. After the strong men gathered together, they flew directly away from Jiuyou Palace and flew towards the Qian family in the south, Tianlin City. There is a relatively large city in the Northern Territory, and the Qian family's clan palace is located in this city. Prior to this, the Qian family had realized that the danger was coming, awakened the strong men in seclusion within the family, activated the clan defense formation, and prepared to deal with the crisis. The people from Qian Qingshan have already arrived around the Qian family. However, the tactics they adopted were to encircle rather than attack, as they were obviously waiting for someone. At this time, inside the Qian family's mansion, many senior officials of the Qian family gathered together, but most of their faces were gloomy and solemn. The current situation is really bad for them. Master, ancestor, the people from Qian Qingshan are already waiting around 10 miles away. Our spies can't get in or out. We don't know what is going on outside. But judging from the current situation, Shen Ningfa and the others have no plans to attack yet. An elder of the Qian family spoke up at this moment. The two figures sitting at the top were an old man and a middle-aged man. The power exuded from both of them was at the level of Tianzun realm. Qian Yinyan, the ancestor of the Qian family, and Qian Jiuyou, the head of the Qian family. This Qian Qingshan is just for the two keys to the sun and the moon, so it goes to such great lengths. Ancestor, since Qian Qingshan and the others have bullied others too much, then we don't need to think about our past friendship. If they want to fight, then fight. Why should my Qian family be afraid of them? The head of the family, Qian Jiuyou, said angrily at this moment. Father. My daughter thinks that Qian Qingshan's actions should not be so simple. If the two of us fight with all our strength, Qian Qingshan will definitely pay an extremely painful price. So judging from my daughter, they probably have a backup plan. At this time, a graceful girl in a gauze skirt slowly opened her mouth. She had a beautiful figure, convex front and back. She only had a little rouge and gouache on her face, but it gave people an extremely comfortable and elegant feeling. Her tone is gentle and her manners are polite, making her a peerless beauty, and her only shortcoming is that her cultivation level is only in the qi gathering realm, and the identity of this woman is Qian Xinrou, the contemporary eldest daughter of the Qian family. Although Qian Xinrou does not have a high talent for cultivation, she is not as good-looking as what the outside world says. Her mind is extremely bright, and she helps the head of the Qian family plan many things. She can be called the think tank of the Qian family. Therefore, Qian Xinrou was respected by many people in the Qian family, even if her cultivation was low. Chapter 24: The Dominance of 10,000 Beasts Forest. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After hearing Qian Xinrou's words, Qian Jiuyou also fell into thinking for a while, and then said, Rower, what do you think they will do next? Qian Xinrou thought for a while and said, maybe they can cooperate with others. My daughter recently heard that the Tianyan Dynasty killed the deputy palace master of Xiaoyu Palace and 2 elders of Fenshan Island. The 3 of them are now on the same level, but the strength shown by the Tianyan Dynasty is indeed somewhat unpredictable. And if this is the case, Qian Qingshan is likely to cooperate with them for a win-win situation. They first helped Qian Qingshan destroy my Qian family and seize another sun and moon key. After that, they helped Xiaoyu Palace and the others to destroy the Tianyan Dynasty. And this method can explain why Qian Qingshan can only besiege but not attack at present. That's because they are waiting for people from Xiaoyu Palace and Burning Sky Island to arrive. By then my Qian family will definitely not be able to hold on. Listening to Qian Xinrou's words, everyone in the Qian family suddenly realized that indeed, this possibility was extremely high. If this is the case, things will be in trouble. Rower, do you have any ideas to solve the current situation? Qian Yinyan, the ancestor of the Qian family, said. Qian Xinrou replied, Ancestor, if Qian Qingshan really cooperates with Xiaoyu Palace and the others, then our only way is to find reinforcements like them. Looking for reinforcements. But where should we find these reinforcements? Qian Jiuyou and the others were a little confused. If you go to those overlords, they may not like the Qian family, and if they know about the sun and moon key, they will probably stab them in the back, and if you look for some small forces, it will not help at all. They are simply unable to compete with the forces like Xiaoyu Palace, and cooperating with them is simply a waste of effort. Tianyan Dynasty. Dad, if you want to find a force to cooperate with, Tianyan Dynasty is currently the most suitable candidate. After all, if Xiaoyu Palace and the others destroy us, then he will be next. I believe that Dongfang Yuan will understand the principle of a rabbit dying and a dog cooking. Xinrou reminded. Qian Jiuyou thought for a while, and finally nodded and decided, forget it, third elder, you leave from the family's secret passage and immediately rush to the Tianyan Dynasty to seek help from the Tianyan Dynasty. If they want to make any conditions, as long as the conditions are not too excessive, then I will agree to them. Yes. The third elder of the Qian family responded immediately. Afterwards, the third elder of the Qian family secretly left Tianlin city through the secret passage and rushed to Tianyan Imperial City. At this time, in the Northern Territory, there is a forest of 10,000 beasts. You, 10,000 beast forest, have gone too far to bully others. Since there is no exchange, then return the 5th grade enlightenment pill to me. Xuanhuan was thrown out from the depths of the 10,000 beasts forest with a look of embarrassment on his face. There was still a trace of blood on the corner of his mouth, and some injuries were sustained in his internal organs. At this moment, he looked at the 10,000 beasts forest with angry eyes, and shouted angrily, his face turned red with anger. He. What? Since you are also in the heavenly realm, we will save some face for you. Xuanhuan, don't think that you are qualified to be on an equal footing with me, old Xiong, just because you have broken through to the Tianzun realm. If you know what you are looking for, get out of here. Otherwise, I'll break your legs. At the entrance of the 10,000 beasts forest, a huge black bear dozens of meters tall walked out. The beastly power exuded from his body could not help but make people tremble and panic. The aura of the third level of Tianzun realm leaked from his body. Xuanhuan was suppressed by him and could not resist at all. Xuanhuan was standing there now, extremely angry, with his fists clenched tightly. He originally came to the 10,000 beasts forest to exchange night moon crystals with them on Dongfang Yuan's order. It was fine at first. The people of 10,000 beasts forest saw that he was in the heavenly realm and gave him corresponding respect, but after he took out the 5th grade enlightenment pill, the strong fragrance of the medicine made the Bear King, one of the 3 kings of the 10,000 beasts forest, feel greedy, and they didn't want to exchange Jiuyou crystal with him. As a result, Xuanhuan was like going deep into a wolf's den. The 5th grade enlightenment pill was taken away directly, and the Bear King sent people to blast him out. Xuanhuan didn't want to leave at first, so he might as well talk to them, but a powerful and overlord-level force actually committed such banditry. However, he was thrown out directly by the black bear and received a blow to his chest, causing his body to be injured. Xuanhuan was indignant at the moment. The black bear in front of me is a subordinate of the Bear King. Although it is only at the 3rd level of Tianzun realm, it is not something that I can deal with now. It is good. One beast forest, what you did today will be remembered by our Tianyan Dynasty. I hope you won't regret it when you come, Xuanhuan said fiercely with a gloomy and solemn expression. Ha 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 ha. Just because of your Tianyan Dynasty? You still want to provoke me, the forest of 10,000 beasts? It's just a big joke. Okay. The entrance to my 10,000 beasts forest is not a place for beggars to beg. Get out of here right away. If you are 1 second later, I will make it impossible for you to leave again. That the old bear patted his thick paw. The power contained in his palm was enough to destroy a mountain. Xuanhuan said no more, and his figure turned into a stream of light and left. He swore in his heart that the humiliation he suffered in the 10,000 beasts forest today would be repaid twice as much in the future. When the old bear saw Xuanhuan running away in despair, he just sneered disdainfully and didn't take it to heart at all, but little did he know that what they, the Bear King, did today had already brought disaster to the 10,000 beasts forest, Tianyan Dynasty, in the imperial palace. After 1 day, stare. It has been detected that the Qian family in Tianlin city has a daughter of destiny, Xinrou, a destiny fortune value of 93 points, and a lower qualification of Tianzhi divine body, not awakened. It is recommended that the host adopts her as a concubine and raises her first. Later, when the divine body of heavenly wisdom awakens, it will bring you unexpected help. At this time, in his own bedroom, Dongfang Yuan suddenly heard the system prompts in his mind, is there another Destiny's daughter? Qian family, Qian Xinrou. Dongfang Yuan began to think about this name carefully and found that he still had some memories of this name in his mind, the contemporary eldest daughter of the Qian family. However, it is rumored that he is a vase that is of no use. He has no cultivation talent and is still only in the Qi gathering realm, but he has given birth to a pair of extremely beautiful skins. Because of her elegant temperament, she seems to be knowledgeable and considerate, so although she is not good at cultivation, she still has many suitors based on her appearance, temperament and background. Dongfang Yuan knew Qian Xinrou's identity, but he didn't expect that such a woman with no talent for cultivation would be the daughter of destiny. Moreover, the destiny luck value is as high as 93 points. He is taller than Han Wanxiang, the saint of Xuanhuan sect, and only 2 points behind Xiao Qingli. Chapter 25 Tianzhi Divine Body. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It seems that this ridiculously high destiny and luck value is probably due to her unawakened divine body of heavenly wisdom. Dongfang Yuan realized at this moment that the reason why Qian Xinrou could have such a high destiny and luck, but her qualifications were the most ordinary and inferior, was probably because of her physical constitution. However, he had never heard of the Tianzhi divine physique. He had no idea what the function of this physique was, and how to awaken it. What that at this time, Dongfang Yuan couldn't help but turn his eyes to Xiao Qingli, who was immersed in practicing with his eyes closed. As if noticing Dongfang Yuan's gaze, Xiao Qingli opened her eyes and looked at him. I said, only if you fulfill those 3 conditions will I willingly have sex with you. My beloved concubine, you. I just have something to ask you. Look where you are thinking. Since I have already promised you, how can I regret it? Seeing that Xiao Qingli was thinking wrongly, Dongfang Yuan spoke righteously. Oh, I don't know you yet. Xiao Qingli knew very well what kind of virtue Dongfang Yuan had. My beloved concubine, have you ever heard of the divine body of heavenly wisdom? Dongfang Yuan began to ask about serious matters. Tianzhi divine body. Why do you ask this? Xiao Qingli asked with some confusion. I'm just curious, so do you know? Dongfang Yuan said perfunctorily. As for Qian Xinrou, he didn't plan to talk about it right away. Xiao Qingli did not continue to ask further. I know. As the former Empress of Jiuyou, her breadth of knowledge is obviously unmatched by the current Dongfang Yuan, not to mention all the divine bodies. She probably knew several immortal bodies. After hearing Xiao Qingli's answer, Dongfang Yuan asked, then what abilities does this divine body of heavenly wisdom have? The divine body of heavenly wisdom is a kind of divine body that is given by heaven. It cannot be formed the day after tomorrow. It can only be created by innate talent. But even if you have it innately, the divine body will be immersed and it will be difficult to see. The heavenly wisdom divine body is different from other divine bodies. This divine body requires external force to awaken. Otherwise, if an ordinary person possesses the heavenly wisdom divine body, he may not be able to awaken for the rest of his life, wasting the blessing of this powerful divine body. Xiao Qingli said. After hearing this, Dongfang Yuan digested it for a moment, and then asked, then what is the difference between the awakened divine body of heavenly wisdom and the unawakened one? Before the divine body of heavenly wisdom is awakened, the person with the divine body will basically have ordinary cultivation talents, but there is one characteristic that is very obvious. His mind will be particularly smart and resourceful. After the divine body awakens, its cultivation qualifications can at least reach immeasurable, and its cultivation speed is completely different from before it was awakened. And this is not the most evil thing about Tianzhi divine body. After awakening the divine body, the person's wisdom will be increased dozens or even hundreds of times again. Basically, he will be completely transformed compared to before. If you meet such an opponent and compete with him for tricks, you are simply seeking death. The fully awakened celestial wisdom divine body has an IQ that can beat, %, or, people by countless blocks. This is the real terrifying thing about Tianzhi divine body. It can even be said that with his wisdom alone, he can guess what his opponent wants to do next and respond in advance. Xiao Qingli was also speaking seriously at this moment. She remembered that a few 100,000 years ago, a god of heavenly wisdom appeared in her world. Although that person has not reached the emperor level in cultivation, he is already respected as the emperor, and what she relies on is her amazing strategy and wisdom. Even though she did not reach the imperial realm, many great emperors were extremely afraid of her, and no one was willing to take the initiative to provoke her, because as long as anyone dares to provoke her today, there will be countless troubles in her body in the future, and she can still put everything away from herself. When a person comes from the dark side, he is straightforward and unpredictable. After Dongfang Yuan listened to Xiao Qingli's explanation, he also understood the purpose of this divine body of heavenly wisdom. Xinrou, as long as he helps her awaken the divine body of heavenly wisdom, then keeping her by my side and being my emperor's think tank is indeed a wonderful choice. Dongfang Yuan thought happily, when the time comes, your harem concubines, a 9-nether divine body will help you take care of foreign enemies, and a heavenly wisdom divine body will help you make plans. Don't feel too happy about this, and whenever night comes, a 9-nether divine body and a Tianzhi divine body sandwich each other to form a big burger. Wonderful. How wonderful. Cough cough. That, my beloved concubine. Then do you know how to awaken the divine body of Tianzhi? Dongfang Yuan ended his inner dream and asked. When Xiao Qingli heard what he said, she suddenly had her own guess in her heart. She said deliberately, I know, but I won't tell you. I will tell you when you bring the divine body of heavenly wisdom to me. Hearing this, Dongfang Yuan patted Xiao Qingli's buttocks familiarly. My beloved, you are so naughty. That's all, since my beloved concubine knows, then I can rest assured. Xiao Qingli has almost gotten used to it in recent days and has long been numb. At this time, a figure suddenly reported at the door of the palace. Your Majesty, the third elder of the Qian family in Tianlin City came to visit your Majesty and said that he had urgent matters that he wanted to discuss with your Majesty. The third elder of the Qian family. Dongfang Yuan was a little surprised when he heard this name. Only then did the system tell him that Xinrou, the eldest daughter of the Qian family, was the daughter of destiny. Why did the third elder of the Qian family arrive not long after? Is this a coincidence? Okay, I understand. Take him to the side hall and wait. In addition, inform Marshal Tai and King Tianyu to go to the side hall. I have something to discuss with them. Dongfang Yuan said, now that the officials of the Tianyan Dynasty have taken the Tianfa pill and the Enlightenment pill, they have almost improved. Basically, they have all left the country. Next, he should also prepare to deal with forces such as Xiaoyu Palace and Blood Shadow Tower. We can't delay it any longer. Our prestige must be increased faster. After all, it's still a little early to have a baby now. And I haven't even slept yet, so I can only gain prestige points to get some rewards. Yes. Your Majesty. The man outside the hall also hurried down to make arrangements. Are you ready to attack Xiaoyu Palace and the others? Xiao Qingli also asked calmly. Yes. I will first get rid of the two little mice, Xiaoyu Palace and Burning Sky Island, and finally destroy the Blood Shadow Tower to fulfill the first condition of my beloved concubine. Okay, I will leave first. If my beloved concubine is tired, just rest for a while. Don't just practice all day long. Lie down when you should. If my beloved concubine is tired, I will be very distressed. Dongfang Yuan said in a gentle tone, and then left the palace. 26 Conditions of Cooperation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, in a side hall of the Tianyan Dynasty, the third elder of the Qian family, Qian Gong, had been waiting here for a long time. In addition, Tai Poyan and King Tianyu were also waiting at the palace. Qian Gong was slightly shocked when he saw the two of them and sensed the aura of Tianzun realm emanating from them. Unexpectedly, the two Tianzun-level people owned by the Tianyan Dynasty are actually Marshal Tai and King Tianyu. It's really strange. Why is there no sign of Xuanhuan, the Prime Minister? After Qian Gong said hello to the two of them, he made a guess in his heart. At this time, in a high position above the main hall, Dongfang Yuan's figure suddenly appeared and sat upright in his position. I have seen your Majesty. Tai Poyan and King Tianyu both saluted respectfully. Qian Gong, the third elder of the Qian family, has met Emperor Yuan. Qian Gong also lowered his head slightly and cupped his fists at Dongfang Yuan. No more courtesy. Elder Qian Gong, I wonder why you came to our Tianyan Dynasty? Dongfang Yuan asked directly. Emperor Yuan, I am representing my Qian family this time and want to sincerely cooperate with the Tianyan Dynasty, Qian Gong said. Cooperation? What kind of cooperation method? Dongfang Yuan asked curiously. To be honest, my Qian family has been surrounded by people from Qian. And they even joined forces with Xiaoyu Palace and Brahma Island to attack my Qian family. Our family master guesses that the three parties have probably completely united. They will first destroy my Qian family together, and then point their swords at Tianyan. So, I came here specifically to discuss with Emperor Yuan. Our two families can cooperate to deal with Qian and Xiaoyu Palace. Qian Gong also explained the current situation and the stakes. He has also told Dongfang Yuan that if he refuses to save the Qian family, then the one they will jointly deal with next will definitely be the Tianyan Dynasty. Dongfang Yuan was a little surprised after hearing what Qian Gong said. Unexpectedly, the Qian family would encounter disaster now. It can be said to be a God-given opportunity. If you use this to put forward your own conditions, it shouldn't be too easy. Elder Qian means that if you want to cooperate, let me, the Tianyan Dynasty, send troops to assist your Qian family, right? Can. But I still have one condition. When it comes to cooperation, there is no guarantee just by talking about it. So, I hope the Qian family can show some sincerity. The emperor has admired Xinrou, the eldest daughter of the Qian family, for a long time and has the idea of making her his concubine. I wonder what the third elder thinks. Dongfang Yuan did not hesitate and directly put forward his inner conditions. Making the eldest lady your concubine, this. Qian Gong was a little confused at this time. When he came, Qian Jiuyou told him that as long as Dongfang Yuan's conditions were not too excessive, he could agree, but Qian Gong couldn't make up his mind about the condition proposed by Dongfang Yuan at this moment. Xuanhuan. I'm not sure I can make the decision on this matter. Can you please let me contact the head of the family and ask him to make a decision? Qian Gong asked. Of course you can, please do as you please, Dongfang Yuan said with a smile. Afterwards, Qian Gong immediately took out a communication stone, sent the news into the spirit stone, and got in touch with Qian Jiuyou through a secret communication technique of the Qian family. Qian family, at this time, the senior officials of the Qian family were guarding the family and were waiting. Qian Jiuyou and Qian Xinrou, including the three ancestors of the Qian family, were still in a room discussing the next countermeasures. At this time, a communication stone on Qian Jiuyou's waist lit up. After taking it out and looking at it, he frowned slightly. Dongfang Yuan agreed to cooperate, but he put forward a condition, Qian Jiuyou said. What conditions? Qian family ancestor asked. Qian Xinrou's eyes were also looking at his father. He said that he had admired Roer for a long time and wanted to take Roer as his concubine and use marriage to tie up the relationship between the two forces. Qian Jiuyou looked at his daughter and said. Qian Xinrou looked a little stunned. She didn't expect that Dongfang Yuan would actually want to take advantage of her. At the same time, she also felt a little strange. My reputation in the Northern Territory is not very good. The outside world says that I am just a flower grown indoors. Apart from being beautiful, it has no effect at all. Dongfang Yuan accepts himself as his concubine, who is considered useless by the outside world. Is there something wrong with his mind? This Dongfang Yuan, it is rumored that his previous actions were just to hide his evil side. He had endured it for so many years, and it was only after Emperor Tianyan died that he finally showed his evil side. How could someone with such a mind put forward such a condition? Could he have guessed what's special about Roer? The ancestor of the Qian family guessed. Qian Jiuyou shook his head. At present, we have never met this son, so it is difficult to draw a conclusion. Roer, what do you think? Qian Xinrou thought for a while and finally said, Dad, promise him. The current situation in the Qian family can no longer be dragged on. Moreover, if the Qian family can really survive this disaster, then the marriage between the daughter and Dongfang Yuan can be considered to help the two major forces forge a deeper alliance. If Dongfang Yuan can really take charge of such a huge dynasty and hold power tightly in his heart, then he will definitely not be as simple as we think now. For such a man, it is not a loss for his daughter to marry him. In this short period of time, Xinrou had thought through the whole matter and the interests, and finally made a choice. Forget it. Now that you've decided, Dad won't say anything anymore. Jiuyou also immediately sent Xinrou's decision into the Spirit Stone, Tianyan Dynasty. Inside the hall, Qian Spirit Stone lit up. The next moment, Qian checked it and immediately said, Emperor Yuan, our head agrees to your conditions. Please ask Emperor Yuan to send troops immediately to support the Qian family. Dongfang Yuan heard this and said seriously, okay. Marshal Tai, you immediately summon an army of 30 people and prepare to go to Tianlin city. King Tianyu, go and mobilize 24 powerful people in the Dharma realm to gather on the school grounds. This time, I will personally lead the troops to wipe out everyone in Xiaoyu Palace and Fengtian Island one by one. Dongfang Yuan immediately ordered. Yes. Your Majesty. King Tianyu and Tai Puyuan also immediately went down to gather men. Nowadays, in the Tianyan Dynasty alone, the Dharma realm is close to 40. Those 30 heavenly magic pills directly cause the Tianyan Dynasty to give birth to 30 powerful Dharma realm experts, and if you add the Shadow Guards, God-slaying guards, and golden armored guards, the number of people in the Dharma realm will directly reach more than 60. And there is another third, all of whom are at the peak of Dharma realm. Qian also left with the two of them and rushed to the school grounds with Tai Poyan. Dongfang Yuan notified General Feipeng and ordered him to guard the palace during this period, and he also handed over control of the guard formation to him. Basically, there would be no problems, and this time, Dongfang Yuan also brought 4 god-slaying guards, 4 shadow guards and 4 golden armor guards. These 12 people will be one of the most ferocious fangs that I will show in front of the world this time. Chapter 27 Dead Centipede. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tai Poyan and King Tianyu also gathered an army of 30 people and more than 20 Dharma realm experts on the school grounds. They have all gathered on the flying ship. At this time, Dongfang Yuan's figure arrived with 12 personal guards behind him and landed on the main ship. Tai Poyan and King Tianyu stood beside him, and Qian also stood beside him anxiously. I only heard the former say, Your Majesty, the personnel have been assembled. The 30 troops are all our elites. There are also more than 20 powerful men in the Dharma realm. They are all on standby in each ship. After hearing Tai Poyan's words, Dongfang Yuan nodded seriously, then flicked his dragon robe and said mightily and domineeringly, Let's go. The target is Tianlin city. Yes. The voice of 30 soldiers was deafening, and then more than a dozen ships rose into the sky. Each flying ship was very huge and could accommodate tens of thousands of people. More than a dozen ships flew into the sky and spirit stones accelerated their speed, heading directly towards Tianlin city, breaking through the air. The distance between Tianyan Dynasty and Tianlin city is actually not that far. Now that they set off now, they should be able to reach Tianlin city in almost half a day. Tianlin city, as a famous big city in the Northern Territory, Tianlin city should have been very lively. But now it looks like a place where people are taking a rest and looking a little depressed. There are very few pedestrians on the streets, and most of the shops on the streets have been closed in recent days, obviously, because of Qian Qingshan and the Qian family being besieged within the family. People in the city realized that a fierce battle might break out in Tianlin city next, so many people had better leave first. At this moment, not far from the Qian family's residence, on the roof of an attic, the mountain master of Xianqing Mountain, Feng Mabai, and the great elder Sheningfa stood on the eaves. At this moment, looking around, many inns, tea houses and pavilions are filled with people from Xuanqingshan, and the Qian family's residence is surrounded from all directions. The Qian family is located in the center of Tianlin city. Although it is in a central position, it is also surrounded by enemies on all sides. Calculate the time. Jiang Baixing and the others should be here in about 2 hours. Today, I will destroy the Qian family and seize the key to the sun and moon from Qian Jiuyou's hand. The treasures of the sun and the moon. Whether Xian Qingshan can become a hegemonic force depends on today, that the urgency on Feng Mabai's face was enough to show his excitement and expectation. Don't worry, Lord Mountain. With our three major forces united, no matter how rich the Qian family is, they will not be able to escape the fate of destruction. Next, after wiping out the Qian family, we will get rid of the Tianyan Dynasty. Then we can open the ruins. The treasures of the sun and moon will eventually belong to our Xianqing mountain. Shen Ningfa also said with some excitement. At this moment, a blind scholar suddenly appeared on the street beneath their feet, holding a flute and a book in his hands. He slowly approached Qian's house. Although he was blind, he seemed to have a keen eye. He could move without any inconvenience and turned several turns in a row. Who is this person? Feng Mabai asked after seeing this person. I don't know him, I've never seen him before, Shen Ning said. Since you don't know me, let's deal with it. Don't let him get in the way here, Feng Mabai said coldly. Shen Ningfa nodded, and then ordered some disciples on the nearby streets to deal with the blind scholar, for disciples at the peak of the Tianxian realm were seen. After receiving the order from Shen Ning, they immediately walked towards the blind scholar. They held sharp weapons in their hands, flashing with sharp cold light, and just when they were about to approach the blind scholar, a strange scene happened. When the four people were less than 5 meters away from the blind scholar, they fell to the ground one after another and died, but the blind scholar acted as if nothing was wrong, perfectly avoiding the 4 corpses, and slowly walked towards a tea house near Qian's house. How is this possible? Mountain Master, did you see him take action? Shen Ningfa looked surprised, because with his cultivation at the first level of Tianzun realm, he could not see any trace of the blind scholar's attack. At this time, Feng Mabai frowned, shook his head and said, he didn't take action, so naturally there will be no aura coming out. How is this possible? He didn't take action. How could those 4 disciples die instantly? Shen Ningfa asked in confusion. Feng Mabai stared at the blind scholar until he saw him walking into a tea house and sitting by the window on the top floor. Looking down from the window, you can just see the central square of the Qian family's mansion. I think I know who he is. Go. Feng Mabai took Shen Ningfa directly to the tea house where the blind scholar was sitting. Feng Mabai stood beside this person and said slowly, the leader of the gold medal killers in the Blood Shadow Tower, Death Centipede, has been famous for a long time. Shen Ningfa was obviously a little shocked when he heard this, Dead Centipede. This blind scholar turned out to be the Dead Centipede of the Blood Shadow Tower. Wind Mountain Lord wins the prize. Compared to the Mountain Master, my name is not worth mentioning. Dead Centipede smiled calmly. Feng Mabai smiled. It is rumored that the Dead Centipede is a burly man with a very terrifying appearance. He is very good at controlling insects and poisons. I didn't expect that the Dead Centipede's real body would be a handsome young man with the appearance of a scholar. It seems that this rumor is really not credible. So that's why there's a sense of contrast. After all, who would have thought that a blind scholar who looked so weak could actually be a dead centipede full of evil in the Northern Territory? That the Dead Centipede turned around, with an extremely evil smile on its extremely white and soft face. Feng Mabai looked at this scene, and then his face turned serious and he said, Your Excellency, what's the matter with you here? As far as I know, Jiang Baisheng and the others should only invite the Shuiying studio to help them destroy the Tianyan Dynasty. And regarding the Qian family, it seems that they don't need the assistance of the Shuiying studio, right? From Feng Mabai's words, one could hear that deep down in his heart, he was still a little afraid of the Blood Shadow Tower. Apparently he was worried that the Sun and Moon key would be exposed and cause the Blood Shadow studio to covet him, which would cause serious problems. Chapter 28 The Battle of the Qian Family. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After listening to Feng Mabai's words, Dead Centipede smiled slightly and said, Master Feng Mountain misunderstood. I just came here to see the death moment of a top force. Don't worry, I won't intervene. You can just treat me as an ordinary spectator. After all, we will have to deal with the Tianyan Dynasty together. We are still allies. So you can rest assured. Hearing what Dead Centipede said, Feng Mabai's inner vigilance was not completely dispelled, but because what he said does make sense, now they are still in an alliance. If Dead Centipede makes trouble at this juncture, even Xiaoyu Palace and Burning Sky Island will not be able to justify it. In that case, please, fellow Taoist, please sit here and have a good time, Feng Maobai said. Thank you very much, Dead Centipede said with a smile. Immediately, Feng Maobai and Shen Ningfa also turned and left. Arriving on the previous roof, they looked down and looked at the dead centipede that was now motionless. Shen Ningfa was still a little worried and said, "Is it really okay?" The death centipede of the Blood Shadow Studio suddenly came here in person, but just to watch a show. This reason is a bit too far-fetched. No matter what his purpose is, now the arrow is on the string and he has to shoot it. I guess he is after some of the treasures of the Qian family, but as long as we get the Sun and Moon key, the remaining treasures will not be a big deal to us even if we give them to him. Feng Maobai glanced at the direction of the dead centipede, and then turned back. However, he still kept an eye on him, locking him with a breath to prevent him from messing up. Buzz. Above the sky of Tianlin City, a large shadow suddenly shrouded from the sky. Feng Maobai and Shen Ningfa looked towards the sky and saw dozens of flying ships appearing in the sky of the city. The decks above were densely packed with figures. The people from Xiaoyu Palace and Fenchen Island finally arrived. Jiang Baixing and Yuan Tianzong led the team and flew down from the flying ship to meet Feng Maobai and the others. Around the street, those powerful men from Xian Qingshan also appeared one by one, filling the sky. The total number of disciples of the three major forces exceeds 50, among which there are close to more than 30 Dharma realm experts. Judging from the number alone, they completely crushed the Qian family. Brother Feng, Brother Shen, you have been waiting for a long time. Jiang Baixing came to the two of them and smiled calmly. Ha 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 ha. It's not too late, no one from the Qian family has escaped, Feng Maobai said with a smile. In that case, let's get started. First break the Qian family's clan-protecting formation, and then directly start the massacre. Yuan Tianzong didn't waste any time, as he started to approach the Qian family's mansion even with the Dharma realm of Fenchen Island. Jiang Baixing, Feng Maobai and Shen Ningfa, who were also strong men with their respective forces, began to approach the Qian family's mansion, gathering their strength to break the formation. Within the Qian family, at this time, in the square of the Qian family, all the senior officials of the Qian family gathered and stood on the square. They looked at the number of figures covering the sky and the sun outside the clan-protecting formation, as well as the powerful aura exuding from the four heavenly masters. Qian Jiuchou's expression also became serious. With the combined efforts of the four heavenly masters, the sect-protecting formation will not be able to hold on for long. Let the elders and disciples be prepared for a deadly battle. All the senior officials around him responded with strong cohesion and seriousness. Yes. Boom dash at this time, a loud thunder-like sound resounded throughout Tianlin City and penetrated the sky. Feng Maobai and other four Tianzun realm experts combined their strength to strike directly at the Qian family's sect-protecting formation. The Qian family's sect-protecting formation was hit by this attack. Although it could still withstand the attack, part of its defensive strength had been shattered. Come again. Jiang Baixing and others immediately continued, and once again broke out a power offensive, condensing into a powerful spiritual light like a ball of fire, and slammed into the formation. Boom dash. The second strike, the third strike, the fourth strike. With each force bombardment, the expressions of Qian Jiuchou and the ancestor of the Qian family became heavier and heavier. They didn't know how long the sect-protecting formation could be delayed. They just hoped that the powerful men from the Tianyan Dynasty could arrive as soon as possible. Boom. Bang bang bang. Feng Maobai and others launched the seventh offensive. Finally, under this blow, the Qian family's clan-protecting formation was like a mirror about to be broken, full of cracks, and then the pressure piled up and shattered. The formation has been broken. Destroy the Qian family today. Kill me. Feng Maobai looked excited, raised his arms and led the elders and disciples of Xian Qingshan to kill directly towards the Qian family's mansion. Jiang Baixing and Yuan Tianzong also showed their butcher knives one after another, and led the people from the two major forces to rush towards Qian's house. Kill. The disciples of the three major forces made an earth-shattering noise. their morale was as high as that of dragons and tigers, and they all attacked the Qian family's mansion with ferocious momentum. Death battle. If you thieves want to attack my Qian family, you will definitely have to pay the heaviest price. Defend the family and kill me. But there were countless strong men in the Qian family who were not willing to be outdone. Even if they were at a disadvantage, in order to defend the family, they took out their spiritual weapons one after another, exploded their power and flew into the sky to fight fiercely with them. Qian Jiuyou and the ancestor of the Qian family rushed to the front. The two Qian families' Tianzun realm experts tried their best from the beginning. One person dragged two others, and they tightly entangled Jiang Baixing, Feng Maobai and others. People, bang bang bang. The forces of countless people on the field collided one after another. Some were in the sky, and some were directly inside the Qian family's mansion, and fierce fighting began. In the Qian family's mansion, many palaces, houses, attics, rockeries, etc. were violently shattered by the colliding waves. Houses and attics kept collapsing under the waves of the battle between the strong disciples. Xinrou was protected by several elders of the Qian family, and they kept retreating in the center, with the three major forces uniting. No matter in terms of strength or numbers, the Qian family was at a comprehensive disadvantage. From the moment they met, they were directly suppressed, but even so, the Qian family members were still unyielding and displayed their momentum without fear of death. At the top of the Qian family's mansion, the ancestor of the Qian family was fighting Jiang Baixing and Yuan Tianzong alone. The three of them are all powerful men at the first level of the Tianzun realm. The ancestor of the Qian family can't gain the slightest advantage in a fight with two. He was directly and completely suppressed by the two of them. He was beaten back steadily in the sky, and he was even almost seriously injured several times. Chapter 29. The Tianyan army arrives. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, above the tea house, dead Centipede was leaning against the window. His eyes were covered by a white cloth, but even so, his eyes seemed to be able to see. He faced the Qian family's mansion where the battle was currently taking place, with an interested smile on his face. 2 against 1, the Qian family doesn't seem to be able to last long. The dead Centipede said to himself, picking up the teacup and drinking tea slowly. The key to the sun and the moon, the legendary treasure of the sun and the moon. Whether it is true or the rumors are false, it is really curious. That the dead Centipede smiled coldly at this moment, and his fingers moved slightly at this moment, and several black lights flashed past at an extremely fast speed. Like several black snakes, they disappeared in the blink of an eye. Qian Jiuyou faced the fierce offensive of Feng Maobai and Xinrou, and was directly suppressed to death. The auras of power erupted from the two of them struck him like a violent storm. Feng Maobai even waved his long sword and unleashed thousands of powerful sword energies. Coupled with Xinru's power to block it, several sword energies hit Qian Jiuyou, leaving several blood marks on his body. Humph! Qian Jiuyou, your Qian family will inevitably be wiped out today. If you understand, hand over the key to the sun and moon on your body, and I can let you choose a decent way to die. During the battle, Feng Maobai shouted, his long sword slashed out sword light and sword energy one after another, and countless kendo phantoms appeared frequently in the sky, like several sword dragons surrounding him. The momentum was surging and the sword power was invincible, pressing Qian Jiuyou hard. Feng Maobai, are you Xian Qingshan's wolfish ambitions worthy of your founder? If you want to get rid of my Qian family and obtain the sun and moon treasure alone, Gu Xian Qingshan will never succeed. Qian Jiuyou looked fearless. Although his body had been injured, his aura had not weakened at all. Qian Jiuyou, no wonder your Qian family has no heirs, and the daughter you gave birth to is just a waste in a vase with no talent for cultivation. Forefathers planted trees, and future generations enjoy the shade. You have lived for so many years and still don't understand. There is only one copy of the sun and moon treasures, so it is destined that only one of the two forces between you and me can get it. If I had found that ruins, I would have killed your ancestor of the Qian family immediately. I will never give him a chance to share the treasures of the sun and moon with us. Feng Maobai was talking to himself at this moment. showing his ruthlessness and ambition. Qian Jiuyou also stopped talking nonsense with him. He desperately resisted the two men's offensive posture, but with Sheningfa's assistance, as time passed, Qian Jiuyou's situation became worse and worse, and the situation on the court was completely one-sided. The disciples of the Qian family had suffered over 10,000 casualties during this period. Within the mansion, there was still warm blood flowing on many ruins, as well as many Qian family disciples lying in a pool of blood with their eyes open, the elders who protected Qian Xinrou were also jointly attacked by Xian Qingshan and several Dharma realm players from Fengtian Island. Suddenly, the formation was directly disrupted, and the four elders who protected Qian Xinrou, 3 of them were killed together, and the other one was seriously injured, covered in bloodstains, and his aura was confused, but he still stood in front of Qian Xinrou, protecting her with all his might. "Come and protect the lady." The elder knew that he couldn't hold on much longer, so before he died, he roared and shouted around him. "Laugh!" At this time, a ray of sword slashed through, and a blood line appeared on the elder's neck, and he immediately died on the spot. "Elder Qian Yin!" Qian Xinrou shouted with a heartbroken expression. "Stop shouting. The next one is you," the Xian Qingshan Dharma realm elder who just wielded the sword. At this time, he locked Qian Xinrou, then grinned, revealing a terrifying look in his eyes. The next moment, his knife struck directly at Qian Xinrou. Just when Qian Xinrou thought he was certain to die, suddenly, a figure wearing ninja clothes appeared behind him, and his palm turned into a blade, which not only broke the sword, his figure flashed, passing through like a black lightning, killing the Dharma realm elder of Xian Qingshan on the spot. "You!" Qian Xinrou looked at the black-clothed figure that appeared in front of her with a look of astonishment on her face. Just when she was about to ask him who he was, she saw the surrounding battlefield situation suddenly change. 12 figures were like the gods of death returning from hell. They exuded the aura of the peak of the Dharma realm. They were galloping across the Qian family's mansion, helping the Qian family and wantonly harvesting the lives of people from the 3 major forces. "Presumptuous! Who are you? How dare you interfere in my Xian Qingshan affairs?" A man at the peak of Xian Qingshan's Dharma realm looked at the sudden appearance of God-slaying guard and shadow guard on the field, and asked with an angry roar, "Buzz!" However, at this moment, the Tianyan Dynasty's flying ships all appeared in the sky above the Qian family's mansion. This can't help but make many people look away. "Huh? Tianyan Dynasty? No. This aura. Tianzun realm," that the dead centipede sitting in the tea house couldn't help but look at it, and he even felt the aura of 2 Tianzun realms on the Tianyan Dynasty's divine ship. At this time, Dongfang Yuan's figure stood on the deck of the main ship. Next to him were Qian Gong, Tai Poyan, and Tianyu King, 2 powerful men in the Tianzun realm. Dongfang Yuan looked at the battlefield situation below, glanced at it, and immediately found Qian Xinrou's figure in the crowd. "Shadow, protect Qian Xinrou. I will not allow her to make any mistakes. Everyone, kill me." After Dongfang Yuan gave the order to the shadow guards, he directly ordered the Tianyan Dynasty's army to start killing without any unnecessary nonsense. Yes. The Tianyan Dynasty's army, also led by more than 20 Dharma realm experts, all flew off the ship and began to join the battle. "Ha ha ha ha. The Tianyan Dynasty is here to support us. My clansmen, kill them. Today's intruders will not be spared." After seeing the arrival of the Tianyan Dynasty's army, some Dharma realm elders of the Qian family became excited and roared with excitement in their hearts. After the Qian family members saw the people from the Tianyan Dynasty arriving and supporting them, their morale was like a tsunami, reaching its peak. Kill! The people of the Qian family launched a crazy counterattack against the 3 major forces at this moment. Everyone was furious and wanted to put all the disciples of the 3 major forces to death without fear of life or death. Of the 4 shadow guards, 2 also escaped directly into Qian Xinrou's shadow. Wherever he went, the shadow guards would guard him. Chapter 30 Dongfang Yuan takes action to control the Tianzun realm. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, beside Dongfang Yuan, King Tianyu and Tai Poyan also exuded the aura of Tianzun level. then the figures of the two men were like two meteorites, which immediately crashed into the battlefield where Jiang Baixing and Feng Maobai were fighting, and they started a fierce battle head-on. Tianyan Dynasty, I didn't expect you guys to come here. The expressions of Jiang Baixing and Feng Maobai also changed slightly. At this moment, with the strong men of the Tianyan Dynasty joining in, the originally one-sided situation was immediately reversed. In particular, those powerful Dharma realm experts from the Tianyan Dynasty, as well as the golden armored guards and the god-slaying guards, all showed their absolute power and launched a brutal massacre against people from forces such as Xian Qingshan and Xiuyou Palace. What? No. Impossible. How come the Tianyan Dynasty has so many Dharma realms? How is this possible? The souls of several elders on Brahma Island were scared away. In the current situation on the field, more than 30 Dharma realm experts appeared on the side of Tianyan Dynasty, and there are more than 10 of them, who are at the peak level of Dharma realm. The total number is enough to compete with the three parties, not to mention the Qian family. Nowadays, there are people from Xiuyou Palace in Xianqing Mountain, and their figures are also appearing and falling one after another. The Qian family's morale has greatly increased, and they have become more and more courageous as they fight. The entire battlefield has reached a stage of intense intensity. Dongfang Yuan's figure was still standing on the deck of the flying ship, looking at the battlefield below. At this moment, he seemed to feel something. He stepped lightly with his left foot, and under his feet, he saw a black spiritual snake being stepped on directly into two pieces. Okay. Spiritual insects. The art of controlling insects. Dongfang Yuan looked at the body of the spiritual snake under his feet. It was a snake covered in poisonous poison. It was obviously controlled by someone secretly to deal with him. How is this possible? How could he notice it? At this time, the dead centipede sitting in the tea house next to him was no longer calm, and his face was very surprised. The poisonous snake that he controls is so fast that even a strong person in the heavenly realm will be hit by a single oversight, and Dongfang Yuan's attention has been clearly focused on Feng Maobai and the others, so how could he still notice the sneaking snake? For the first time, dead centipede felt uneasy in his heart. He always felt that Dongfang Yuan might not be as simple as it seemed. Bang bang bang. At this time, in the sky, Feng Maobai and Xinrou originally besieged Qian Jiuqiu and even wounded him, but at this moment, the sudden addition of King Tianyu also caused the situation to change immediately. 2 against 2, their cultivation levels are all the same, so it is difficult for them to take advantage in a short period of time. There are too many Dharma realm experts in the Tianyan Dynasty, which is beyond everyone's expectation. If this drags on, the casualties of the three major forces are likely to become more and more serious. Capture the thief first and capture the king. Brother Yuan, Brother Jiang, we will help you create opportunities. You can directly seize Dongfang Yuan and use him to threaten the entire Tianyan dynasty's powerful men. Feng Maobai observed the whole audience and immediately found the key point to break the situation, and then sent a message to several people. Dongfang Yuan stood alone on the ship with no one to protect him. If someone attacked him, he would have absolutely no power to resist. It is good. Yuan Tianzong and Jiang Baixing also noticed Dongfang Yuan's existence. Feng Maobai and Xinrou suddenly broke out, changing the direction of their offensive and blasting towards Tai Poyan and the ancestor of the Qian family. Tai Poyan and the ancestor of the Qian family quickly avoided it, while Jiang Baixing stood in front and cooperated with the two forces to push them back. It's now. Brother Yuan, Jiang Baixing shouted as a reminder. Yuan Tianzong's figure immediately rushed towards Dongfang Yuan. Dongfang Yuan caught the dead centipede through the traces of the spirit snake's breath, with an evil smile on his face. As soon as he raised his head, he saw Yuan Tianzong approaching him. Not good. Emperor Yuan is in danger. At this time, no one from the Tianyan dynasty was in a hurry. On the contrary, Qian Jiuqiu saw Yuan Tianzong attacking Dongfang Yuan and immediately shouted nervously. Xinrou couldn't help but look up, but her face was a little confused, and she always felt that things were not that simple, because she didn't see any fear on Dongfang Yuan's face. Weather. It's time for me to stretch my muscles. Dongfang Yuan looked at Yuan Tianzong approaching him and smiled lightly. Then, he slowly stretched out his hand and spread his fingers. Laugh. Act recklessly. That when Yuan Tianzong saw that Dongfang Yuan had no intention of running away at this moment, but was still standing there stupidly, he inadvertently showed a contemptuous smile, but at the next moment, on Dongfang Yuan's palm, a ray of sword light emerged slightly. Immediately, a 1,000-meter-long sword light shot out directly from the palm of his hand without any warning. Puff. The speed of that sword light was hundreds of times faster than that of thunder. Yuan Tianzong had no time or chance to react. It penetrated his body. His whole body and mind were penetrated by the sword light and hung in the sky. Tick-tock. 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 The blood on Yuan Tianzong's chest was dripping continuously, and his face turned pale with horror. His whole face was filled with fear, panic, and especially disbelief. How could you have such power? Yuan Tianzong asked with a heartbroken voice. At the same time, the confrontation between several Tianzun realms also stopped temporarily with a tacit understanding, and everyone's eyes couldn't help but look here. In addition to King Tianyu and Tai Poyan, two powerful men from the Tianyan Dynasty, the others basically had sluggish expressions on their faces, as if they were petrified, and their pupils were shaking as they stood above the sky, including the dead centipede sitting in the tea house. He also witnessed this scene, although his eyes were covered with cloth, but from the expression on his face, it could also be seen that he was no less shocked than the others. Dongfang Yuan had a slight smile on his face. Island Master Yuan, I seem to have never said that I am weak from the beginning to the end, right? It's just that you have never taken me seriously. You think that I am a younger generation. No matter how strong my cultivation is, how strong can I be? But today, I can tell you the peak that some people work hard to reach throughout their lives is just a starting point for some people. You have united with the damning dynasty to murder my father. Then today, this debt should be paid off. As Dongfang Yuan spoke, the sword light in his hand continued to shrink, and Yuan Tianzong's body was continuously pulled towards his eyes. Spare your life. Spare your life. I know I was wrong. Please let me go. Don't kill me. Spare my life. Emperor Yuan. At this moment, Yuan Tianzong was slowly being pulled closer, full of shock and panic. Under the fear of death, his whole body kept trembling in the sky and begging for mercy, completely losing his demeanor as the master of the island. Laugh.